Move on to the general situation and the numbers that we have for today. As you can see on the slide up there, we have new confirmed case as 142 new cases. Out of this number, 88 are from local transmissions, 37 from active case finding, and 17 from within the state quarantine system. Currently, active cases under treatment, people in Thailand having COVID, the number is 2,882. It looks like a good number, at least for myself, because the other days, the past days, we've seen around 3,000. It was first a bit lower than 4,000. It became 3,000. Now it's less than 3,000, with the new confirmed cases being 142, but with new recoveries recorded is 221. So there are more new recoveries today than the new confirmed cases. Totally, since last year, cumulative, we have over 12,000, and recoveries over 9,000, almost 10,000. So hoping that soon the recoveries, the numbers in the recovery box in green would reach and be equal to the number of cumulative number of cases that we have. And fortunately, good news that we have no new fatality for today. Cumulative number of fatalities is 71, remains at 71. So just some observations from the spokesperson today. He showed us a lot of graphs and maps, and of course all the statistics that we have daily. We have 63 provinces now reporting to have infections, the latest being in Chiang Rai. So that's one additional province. The case in Chiang Rai, the single case in Chiang Rai, is a case of a person infected by going out to the pubs and nightclubs in that area. And we have for you on screen some maps of Thailand. It's actually a time progression map. The first one you see is the 52nd week since the first wave. So that's around early January. And the legend that you see is that, of course, the white provinces are the ones with no cases at all, and then yellow with 1 to 10 cases, orange with 11 to 50 cases, and then dark red with 51 cases or above. So the leftmost map of Thailand that you see is the 52nd week. Come January 2021, that's the second map from your left. The time progression in terms of the provinces have increased a bit. That's the 3rd to the 9th of January, the first weeks of January. The third Thai map from the left is 10th to the 16th of January, or the second week in Thailand, where in that week we have found that there are people in up to 30 provinces that have been found new cases. So the fourth map from the left is the 17th to the 21st of January, so up to the current date right now. So we have, in terms of the overall situation for the new wave, which is the last map on the right hand. That's the 18th of December until the 21st of January. So you have all the provinces there, either in red, in yellow, in orange, or in dark red. So this is the first four maps. I like to note also that it's actually per that particular week, not cumulative. But the map that I like you to focus on is the one on the right most. That's the cumulative one, with +1 in Thai. Actually, below that map it says +1 Chiang Rai. So that's the last province that we have up to date that has been affected by COVID, the 63rd province. So just some additional observations from the presentation by Dr. Tuisin just now, that active case finding in factories continue. Just one correction from the information that we released the other day, that we have around 50 targets each across 60 factories. So for the 60 factories, we try to find 50 target persons from active case finding, thus making around inspection of around 2,000 to 3,000 persons per day, per mission. Not 30,000, that was a mistake. It was not 50 targeted persons in 600 factories. It was in 60 factories. Also, in comparison from the wave last year and this new wave in terms of death rate, if you recall in the chart that I displayed just now, there were 71 total of persons fatalities since the original wave last year and the new wave this year, 71 total. But to divide that, there were 60 fatalities in the first wave last year, and then 11 deaths, fatalities in this new wave. So 60 plus 11 is 71. So that comes to show that the wave last year had a higher death rate ratio-wise, and the new wave this year had a lower, less severe, and it was kind of less scary, so to speak, in layman's terms, in terms of number of deaths. So 60 last year, 11 this year. The other piece of information is about the case of a celebrity DJ in Thailand. That was a question that was addressed to Dr. Tuisin just now. Celebrity DJ Matoom, that's in the news, that him having been infected with COVID, and he attended some events with an entertainment event with certain other persons and celebrities as well. So first of all, for CCSA, we like to thank and extend our appreciation to people like this who have come forward, come out publicly when they know that they have been tested positive for COVID. That sets a very good example to the public. Of course, as a public person, that means a lot for your followers, so to speak. So thank you first for coming out in a transparent manner on that. The question whether this particular case will become a super spreader or not, that remains to be seen, but most probably not because of the awareness. The key word is awareness of the people involved and the people who have been interacting with this particular case, this particular person. So since the timeline of this particular case has come out publicly in the press already, and the people that have been in contact with the case are aware, so therefore, if you look at the timeline, if you've been in that particular place, that particular event, that particular group with that group of friends and people or businesses, locations, all those things, and you're aware of it, of course, the most smartest thing to do is to seek treatment, go tested, and then if it becomes negative, then that's good news. So these things, it's the most important key word is to be aware. We think that this might as well be a super spreader because of the awareness level of the timeline, and people are taking action. And Bangkok must be controlled, of course, to stop the spread of this particular case and other cases as well. So we're on high alert for that. So just some additional information on some issues that will be of interest to the English language audience. First is about the program that we were talking about yesterday in Thai on NBT channel 11 yesterday afternoon. Just a brief summary for the English language audience because the program was conducted in Thai. So yesterday, the National Vaccine Institute reaffirmed that the locally produced vaccine would be as effective as those produced in other countries. And apart from the purchasing of vaccine from various countries like China or other countries, other companies, Thailand is set to run its own vaccine production line with the cooperation from AstraZeneca. And the National Vaccine Institute, or NVI, said that before Siam Bioscience was chosen for the production of COVID vaccine, the University of Oxford has set the specific requirements for the vaccine reproduction, and Siam Bioscience was the only firm capable of producing the vaccine through the viral vector vaccine method. And the NVI also stressed that in the first phase of production, Thailand will have to obtain the vaccines directly from AstraZeneca, as we would still be in the middle of the research and development on the technology from the company. And as for the effectiveness, it has been closely monitored. Every step has been closely monitored, the procedure in the production, to ensure the highest level of efficacy and efficiency before the inoculation. Also reaffirmed that there will be enough vaccines and vaccination to be prioritized for those most at risk, those in the front lines as well, doctors and nurses. And it's also further emphasized in that program yesterday that the local vaccine development is achieved through cooperation from every sector in the country. And it would not be successful if we do not work together. The NVI noted that one successful vaccine production could lead to future development of other vaccines in Thailand, leading to advancement in the industry and opportunity for Thailand and Thailand's potential in research and development in terms of vaccine in this field. So that's a summary of the program that we had yesterday. Another information, just additional information, is certain measures to prevent infections in terms of farmers. That was in the news as well, and you have an English language slide coming up. Yes. The Thai Durian Association has recently rolled out a set of infographics on measures to prevent infections for farmers after the new wave has been reported in Thailand since last month. This provides a set of guidelines for farmers running or working on farms to better prevent themselves from being infected. Also, information on preventive measures for visitors to farms, orchards in Thailand to prevent further transmission. And for more information on this, there is information from this association's page, Facebook page, the Thai Durian Association. So this is just one example that I'd like to give about the English language communication that we have in various sectors in Thailand. And this one in particular is in the agricultural sector. Perhaps tourism as well, because tourism in terms of agricultural tourism, visiting to orchards, that's something that has always been strong in Thailand, and hoping that that will pick up soon, as soon as we were over this COVID and tourism and normal life returns to Thailand in the near future. So just some short points before I end. The first is that I've previously mentioned about the cooperation that we have with international organizations, and we continue to have that in terms of addressing the COVID situation in that context. So aside from the International Organization for Migration, of course, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is always in close contact with other organizations, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and the like. Just an additional information from the IOM, International Organization for Migration, joining hands with the Disease Control Department to produce self-prevention measure cards in multiple languages. And that has been distributed at immigration checkpoints and other locations where migrants gather to provide basic information on COVID prevention. And you have that on screen. This one is in Chinese, and there are other languages as well. This one is in Khmer, in Cambodian, and I believe we have another one in Lao language as well. Yes, this one is from Lao, and other languages including Myanmar and other languages as well. That's on screen, but just to show you this, I have it in my pocket, so I might as well show it up to you. So just these cards, very important and useful for those who do not speak Thai. So we have that in Chinese, Cambodian, Lao, and Myanmar language as well. So these things are what we're doing in our cooperation with international organizations in Thailand, just as examples. And these are just one among the many literature, one among the many self-protection measures, handy, pocket type, for people living in Thailand to make use of. So I bring this up just as one example and of the good cooperation that we have with our international partners. And there are more. And of course, on these cards, for example, you have the hotline number of the Department of Disease Control of Thailand, of the Ministry of Public Health of Thailand as well, in which a consultation is available in various languages for the residents of Thailand, no matter what language you speak there. So I was trying to hold it up straight. All right. So these cards, of course, as I've been reiterating, stress the same measures that Thai people are aware of. DMHTT. So although the situation is more stable by day, we cannot, and I repeat, cannot be complacent. And we've been reminding this to the general public every day. Most cases are asymptomatic, and various people have been spreading the disease unknowingly, without their intention, unintentionally, to others. So the best preventive measure is caution, awareness, non-complacency, self-protection. As if we can successfully protect ourselves, we might help in preventing the spread of the outbreak to others as well. The last point I'd like to raise is that the spokesperson mentioned about face shields, that face shields alone, without the mask, there you see on screen there in Thai, and I'll explain it. Face shields alone and without the mask is not sufficient. We've been trying to push for this as a habit in many groups in society. To date, I believe that some people on television still wear face masks face shields without the face masks. So if they are, of course, sitting apart from their colleagues, or if you have a meeting and you're sitting quite distant, that might be okay. But all in all, face shields without the face mask is not sufficient enough. It's very important to wear face shields along with face masks, or if you just wear the face mask while walking around outside the office. So just as a precautionary measure, that's very important. And this infographic you see on screen is courtesy of the Ministry of Public Health for us. So this is all I have for today. Thank you for your attention, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. Please keep safe and keep healthy, and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you. สวัสดีครับ
กราบขอบพระคุณค่ะท่านณัฐพนุนพคุณนะคะนี่ก็เป็นการแถลงข่าวของวันนี้นะคะทั้งในภาคภาษาไทยและภาคภาษาอังกฤษส่วนช่วงของการสนทนาในช่วงเวลาบ่าย2 โมงของวันนี้นะคะคุณผู้ชมสามารถติดตามประเด็นที่มีการสอบถามเข้ามามากนะคะหลักๆ2ประเด็นด้วยกันประเด็นแรกคือเรื่องของการตรวจหาผู้ติดเชื้อเชิงรุกในพื้นที่ต่างๆโดยเฉพาะพื้นที่ที่มีการติดเชื้อจำนวนมากมีมาตรฐานในการเข้าไปค้นหาอย่างไรรวมถึงอีก1ประเด็นค่ะนั่นก็คือเรื่องของการดูแลและอำนวยความสะดวกผู้ที่ใช้สิทธิ์บัตรทองนะคะซึ่งวันนี้สปสช.จะเข้ามาพูดคุยกับเราว่าการดูแลการอำนวยความสะดวกเพื่อดูแลสุขภาพของผู้ใช้สิทธิ์นั้นมีอะไรบ้างค่ะสามารถติดตามได้นะคะเวลาบ่าย2หรือว่า 14 นาฬิกานะคะทางช่อง2 NBT 2 HD ค่ะวันนี้หมดเวลาแล้วนะคะสำหรับการแถลงข่าวจากศูนย์บริหารสถานการณ์โควิด -19 ดิฉันปวีณา ฟักทองพร้อมทีมงานลาไปก่อนสวัสดีค่ะ